Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship. We had 24 e-gamers competing from around the world come here to play for $50,000.
I like how e-gamers is not a thing, but it's become a thing because it wasn't a thing, and it's just like we're making fun of it. I don't know if you followed where e-gamers came from.
No.
Okay.
Do you follow memes very closely to Muslim?
I can't say I do.
You don't?
You know, I just have you.
Okay.
Yeah, even if you don't follow the memes,
You just read his Twitter account.
you just follow Nathanias on Twitter.
That's how you do it.
I keep you up to date on all the latest memes. That's what I do.
And e-gamers is...
I like to think that StarCraft will never fall behind on memes.
It is trending. E-gamers is trending right now in meme world.
It is a trending meme. I would get on top of that as fast as possible, but also get on top of course, staying engaged with our social media. Keep your tweets coming. We love hearing what you guys have to say. Of course, our sponsor, ROCCAT, is also doing a giveaway promotion with DreamHack Winter this year. So you can tweet hashtag set the rules to be entered for that, as well as with you tweeting with the hashtag DHW15.
So is any tweet in that hashtag, you get raffled into the prize pool? Is that what it seems like?
Yeah, you can win a mouse, keyboard, all sorts of great stuff.
That's kind of like an easy thing to do, right?
It's not really difficult. You could just be like, wow, Semper is so good. Hashtag set the rules, hashtag DHW15, free stuff. Easy.
Is it both or just one or both?
I imagine it's both.
Okay. Easy, man.
Just do both just in case, you know.
Just do it.
I feel sorry for the people who tweet about the games but don't include the hashtag, and they just, you know.
Yeah, that's actually
They just want to be heard, you know.
But they don't have a chance to win that
You
mouse.
might as well just not tweet if you're not going to use hashtags, right, guys? Come on.
Do you think the odds increase the more you include the hashtag?
Probably does.
Probably does? I was going to say probably doesn't.
I imagine it's a volume of tweets over anything
So then
else.
maybe it would. If they randomize from all these tweets.
Not per. It wouldn't be per tweet. It would be per number of tweets. Or imagine, you know.
I love how this panel just evolved into hashtag talk.
You don't know, but if you want to be safe,
if you want to be safe,
always
use it on all
pro gamer approach. Like, just if you want to be safe,
you know, it's like you
always do it.
When you go out,
do it.
when you go out to get your coffee later, just put it on every tweet. That's the ultimate safe way.
Going out for coffee.
Exactly. So far, we've had quite a few matches. As you can see, Parting is topping Group A right now. Solar is topping Group B. Huck also hanging in there.
I like how one-sided Group B is in that terms. It's even with the maps. It's 404040 040404.
Why haven't the Terrans won anything?
I don't know.
Why are the Zergs winning so much?
Because you got to wait until Bunny, Bomber, and TY play in Group C and D.
Okay, that's fair.
Just thinking back to the hashtag, bro. It's so sick. You could be meeting a random guy on the bus and be like, you want a chance at winning a mouse. You got no idea what's going on, but just include the hashtag and you might win a mouse.
That's right.
Completely randomly. That's pretty sick, though.
That's the magical.
I couldn't let it go.
It's the magical world of e-gaming that we've entered in. That we have. We have such awesome opportunities available to our e-spectators as well.
Showtime 0-2, guys.
I know.
Bringing it back in.
It's
you
painful.
guys have been hyping him up, and I love him.
It's painful. Yeah.
But he's 0-2.
I mean, that's why you don't follow the crowd. Like, everybody else was saying he was really good. But he did play Parting one of his matches.
He lost against Parting and Bly, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So he still has a
Speaking
chance.
of those two, they are about to play, and I've been told the match is actually ready. So instead of wasting your time analyzing it, we're just going to go into the match. Guys, take it away.
Do it.
You're turning Snoot into a real memester here, Nathan.
Snoot.
Anyhow, guys, we will be going into the game. So this is for rank 1 in the group between these two guys. So this is quite an important game. And one thing that makes Bly a really scary player, I hope you'll agree with this, but no matter how good he is, he always thinks he's insanely good. Like, he's very, very confident.
Oh, yeah, he's confident.
And that's like a very, very dangerous player to be going up against. Somebody that literally has nothing to lose, and he believes in himself.
Yeah, and the thing is, he believes in his builds.
Yes.
And he will execute them.
That was Phantom Apollo just not there, and Nathanias doing random things on the panel. Anyhow, in introducing the players, as the Red Protoss in the northwest side of this map, it is Korea's Parting.
And here in the...
There he is, looking rather gangster over there.
Yo, that's so gangster. Playing for Yoi Flash Wolves.
Flash Wolves now. Dropped the Yowie,
Oh.
they did indeed.
We even got some win rates.
Now,
What are these from? Those don't look like Parting's win rates.
no, they certainly don't. You can introduce this player.
Yeah, here in the bottom right of Prime Terraces, it's Acer Bly.
Now, he's also looking quite fresh there
Yeah,
in his
that's
Acer
some
attire.
serious swagger.
Now, Bly's been one of the more active players in Legacy of the Void so far. Like, in every tournament that there is, all those weekly online cups and such, Bly is always there, and he's actually been reasonably successful. Like, we even heard Solar talk about, oh, well, the good Zergs in this tournament, they're
Are
Nurture
you
and Bly.
kidding me?
Did he get a kill?
Killed the drone.
Oh, man.
How does that even happen?
I'm not sure, but that is immediately tilting. Like, I'm definitely one of those guys that can be affected by that massively, especially when I think I'm against a better player. But as we talked about earlier, Bly doesn't think there's anyone better than him, so him having that happen to him, hopefully it doesn't affect him too much.
I hope so, because, you know, he took the gold base first, and there has been no drone transfer there. So that's a bit awkward.
Is this a map where you'd also take the gold very, very quickly against Protoss?
Yeah.
And you do it in the same style as Bly?
I usually take the gold here, yeah. And then I lose to 4 gateways proxied. No, Parting playing very straight up though. And yeah, he seems confident that he can take on whatever Bly has to offer. And I think also maybe just maybe, Parting is a little bit concerned about the cheese builds, and that's why he opened the way that he did.
Yeah, with the double gateway and such.
Bly can do anything, yeah.
So Parting's ahead on workers right now, which, you know, that's acceptable given that, hey, you played against a guy that committed quite a bit to getting up those hatcheries very quickly.
Yeah, they're going to pay off later.
So why did he make 2 gateways so early? What's the intention there? And especially with Stalkers being produced rather than Adepts.
It's definitely just something he wants to do. Parting's control is excellent. I don't know if you saw the...
Oh, wow, gets a probe there, actually.
yeah, Parting's control is some of the best in the world, and it played a major part in beating Showtime. Actually, his control there was quite good. I heard about it. So I think he just wants to utilize these 2 gateways, make stalkers. It's a little bit unusual, but he wants to use them off creep, expecting Bly not to have any early link speed. And looking at things right now, it seems like it's going to work. There's no link speed started.
Yeah, and without link speed, Stalkers are incredibly difficult. Oh, whoa! Have you seen any? Have you ever had this done to you, Snoot?
Yeah, I have. I just didn't expect to see it right now. But Parting is going to go hard. He's going to bring in the mothership core, and he's going to lock down this position. This is so awesome.
Okay, so what's the reaction here from Bly? Like, how do you really deal with this?
Stay away from those pylons. You got to stay as far away as possible. Just
Did the probe die with this push?
just need to try not to take damage, and it's really difficult. And behind this is not all in by any means. Parting is getting a robo, and he's getting more probes, so he's putting so much pressure on Bly right now. Look at this pylon cannon.
Oh, I love how Parting also isn't overreacting and just pylon overcharging more than 1 pylon. He knew that just 1 was enough to do the job. So this is really nice, denying mining on this gold base as well. Now look at the worker count.
Yeah, this is something Parting has practiced. You don't just randomly drop 3 pylons there, and also with the builds, like the way they played out initially, Bly didn't put the creep tumor there in time, so allow these pylons to get up. That was a little bit of a
overcommittal there.
Yeah.
And look, now he's got no energy, and this is really smart by Parting. He's just backing up, and this is quite a commitment with the 3 pylons, but damage has already been
Bly
done.
doesn't see it. He doesn't see that the pylons are exposed right now. Only now he's moving his links in. That's a lot of lost DPS time. Like maybe, well, that's not going to be another overcharge.
I mean,
this is so expensive. I'm not sure. Yeah, a bit uncharacteristic there from Parting.
He totally forgot about that mothership core. He thought he was getting away scot-free there by.
Yeah, maybe he intended to move it back together with the stock.
I think that was
probably.
Yeah, that was just a simple, uncharacteristic mistake. And
now there's no overcharge here.
No overcharge. Got Adepts to hold off that wall, so nicely positioned with his units too. There is no real surface area to attack this, and Parting will be getting up his own gold base here. So
yeah, I like that a lot. And still keeping the work count. I expect Parting to stop making probes right now. The game has already been going on for quite a bit, so the main is going to mine out eventually. But I'm a bit curious. War Prism speed, there we have it. It's probably going to be those disruptor drops with War Prism speed. So powerful, but Bly seems to be responding well with Aspire.
So how do you feel about the Spire play? Like, he's getting up a lot of gases here, getting a 4th very quickly as well in the other gold base. Is this something that you'd do?
Spire, I like to have the option a lot, but look at these 2 Stargates. But yeah, Spire, it's like you really want to have something to shut down the War Prism.
And you'd get mutas, yeah? Even in small counts to deal with that warp prism.
Yeah, precisely. You want to you want to shut down the war prism, and then not really invest too much into Muta, because the Protoss player might be going back into double Stargate Phoenix, for example. And then if you invest into a lot of Mutas, all of a sudden you'll be in trouble.
What is the overall unit composition that you'd like to aim for against a Protoss player, or does it depend entirely on what they're doing?
It really depends on what they do. For example, now that Parting seems to perhaps be switching into Sky Protoss, you know, you see he's getting the air upgrades here. And what you want against that can be a little bit of a mix. Like maybe on a big map like Ruins of Ceres, you might go for Ultralisks and Zerglings to deny those bases.
Ooh, okay, a nice little hit there from the Disruptor, but the thing is, this Disruptor, the Warp Prism, it won't be able to stay around for very long, given that there are quite a number of mutas coming out onto the field here.
But this is so smart by Parting, like he's already countering it. He already has the air upgrades on the way, he has Phoenix on the way, even getting a Dark Shrine. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but I guess if Bly doesn't respond to it properly, then...
I tell you what though, Bly did respond to this very well. I mean, the Disruptor died, and is the Warp Prism going to get away? I mean, that gets... In fact, did it get shut down there?
Yeah, and I like this Infestation Pit as well from Bly. It's so good to transition, but still, he's investing a lot into Mutas, and I'm not sure if it's going to work out for him, because I don't think he's seen the Phoenixes yet.
So Bly, with this small group of Mutas, he needs to find out.
These Mutas might be in some serious trouble.
That's a lot of Phoenix already. 4 Phoenix, we're going to hunt down this Muta. And he gets to see that more Mutas are joining this flock as well, so Parting, he's all over this like a rash.
Yeah, he knows that Bly has invested quite a lot into these Mutas, and I don't think they can escape from here. And these are just regular Phoenix also. They don't even have the crystals, but Parting's micro so far, well, except for that one, is just really solid.
Met by a random Muta there and take out a Phoenix.
The most annoying Muta there is.
Yeah,
random Muta that just snipes you units. Oh, that's quite sloppy.
Yeah, and look how Bly's expanding too. So he's taking his 5th base behind all this. So he's going for that. In fact, he's going for
Sky Zerg.
Yeah, Corruptors, 5 or 10 gases. This is like what Zergs used to aim for when they used to go for like a Sky Zerg style. It was 10 gases.
Those that didn't want to play the boring Swarmos game, they love to go for those quick 5 bases, get to 10 gases, and just mass produce Muta, Corruptor, and a few Zerglings in the mix also. It's a very strong style. It's still very, very useful.
As this game advances, with Hive almost being done here, and Parting's answer to this anti-air is lots of Phoenix.
Yeah, but what's also a little bit puzzling to me is that Parting, he didn't add only Phoenix. Like, he's been cutting a lot of gateway units, but he's been making Disruptors all this time.
You think he's just going to go for a timing before maybe Vipers are a worry?
Yeah, I think maybe, just maybe, he's going to go for a timing on the ground. Like, maybe at some point soon he's going to add in, say, a bunch of gateway units, maybe drop the Templar, the Fleet Beacon, yeah. I don't know, is Parting being a bit indecisive? Like, Disruptor Phoenix?
Because as time goes by, those Vipers are going to be out on the field, and Phoenix, in a straight-up fight with Corruptors, Mutas, and also the Vipers with that parasitic bomb, it's going to deal a lot of damage, and I'm kind of worried how Parting's going to deal with this eventually.
Just imagine if all the Phoenix get hit by the parasitic bomb, then they're all gone, and then you have all of these Disruptors on the ground, and the Mutas can just pick them off. Like, it's a really horrible worst-case scenario coming up for Parting here, potentially.
Yeah, it really is. The Viper really changes this matchup incredibly.
Blay is totally utilizing the layout of this map, just taking the gold bases early and really taking these easy 10 gases. He's so rich right now.
Even taking that top right base too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the bottom left one too at this rate, making it super hard for his opponent. But these DTs are definitely something that can get you back in the game, and I'm kind of surprised that Bly hasn't invested in some static defense, at least spores, given that he's so rich. It feels like a massive vulnerability.
Now that I think of it, the Dark Shrine can also be used to make the Archons. So that could be like a reinforcement warp in for Parting here. But now he's aiming to distract Bly, but Bly is actually going to jump on this army. Parasitic Bomb, blowing up a lot of the Phoenix. The Mutilates come in.
Oh, but this is well handled.
It's on the ground though.
This is well handled by Parting. I believe the Disruptors actually did a bit of self-damage there, but these Mutas, they do reign supreme.
Oh, but Bly hit before the +2 weapons upgrade as well. I don't know, the links, they just did quite a bit of damage.
Look at this resupplying, though, by Bly. He's up to 160 supply, but those DTs...
So rich right now. So rich.
24 workers were killed by those DTs, so definitely a lot of damage being done by Parting. And that's one thing that pro gamers seem to do so much better, is each unit, they'll use it as best as they can. So he used the DTs at a time when a big fight was happening, hoping that Bly wouldn't be focusing on it, which is exactly what happened, and took total advantage of Bly's multitasking there.
Yeah, but now Parting is falling back on a more conventional army with Blink Stalkers and Phoenix. And possibly going to transition into that type of Disruptor Blink Stalker comp that we've seen quite a bit of in Legacy.
I tell you what though, Parting's multitasking here. He's taking out the top left base, the top right base, doing what he can here. He's meeting static defense, which is obviously annoying and stopping that base from dying. Oh, actually runs in the DTs there, so I spoke a little bit too soon, but doing what he can. Now he's on 9 gases, like keeping his opponent down a little bit, and he's the one now with a fully functioning 5th base, so I like the way that Parting's handling this.
I can't help but feel that Parting is going to be starved out very soon though. You know, the next base for him is probably going to be the top one, but this army from Bly is so mobile and he can harass the base. Like Parting has a lot of trouble just holding on to this one. Like how is he going to secure another base?
And I tell you what, dealing with that amount of mutas when they're all clustered together, you need some form of AoE, be it Archons or Storm, I feel, because Phoenix, if you get Viper clouded, you're in a lot of trouble. Also, oh wow, this is a nice pull. While obviously that's good, I feel saving energy for the Parasitic Bomb might be more worthwhile maybe, although he's adding on lots of Vipers.
But Parting is very scared also, like he knows that there might be additional Vipers. He doesn't have the vision, he doesn't see what we see here, so he doesn't know how many Vipers are behind this. And like what would you get against a composition like this? Shouldn't you maybe consider at some point High Templar to possibly feed back the Vipers? Because the way I see it, the Muta and the Viper combination, it can't be countered by Phoenixes alone, I think.
No, and yeah, as you talked about High Templars, I feel that High Templars not only counter the Vipers, but they also have potential to counter the Mutaflock too, or at least have them moving constantly so you can actually start dealing damage without taking damage.
Also very amazing against the Zerglings on the ground.
Definitely.
Either in the form of Storm or as an Archon. So
I feel that these Phoenix are almost rendered useless at this point though.
Wow, very nice save there. Still can't be in the area. The Parasitic Bomb, as you can see, it stays there. But that was a very nice save there. It didn't take any additional damage on those Phoenixes.
But as these fights are... look at the Parasitic Bomb. So much damage being dealt to these Phoenix. Look at the damage.
Oh, that's brutal. But on the flip side, it's not like Bly can just jump on top of this army. I'm sure he wants to, but right now it's not a safe thing to do. Like, theoretically, Bly could have just dived in on the army, but it's not a wise move.
And for those at home that don't know what we're talking about here, Vipers have a new ability against air units. They put on an AoE, an area of effect damage, on one single air unit, and that damage, it deals 90 damage or so over around 6 seconds. And even when the unit's killed, the AoE stays on where the unit died. So against units like Phoenix that clump and cluster all together, it deals an insane amount of damage. And Parting, he's still relying on this huge Phoenix count.
Yeah, it's very strange to see. Like he's not afraid of the Vipers, and I think maybe it's because he expects to get the High Templars on the field. He finally got the Templar Archive, and we see the first High Templars jumping in now. So maybe he's going to bait the Vipers close to him, feed back the Vipers, and then with the overwhelming Phoenix count, he's going to be able to absolutely obliterate the entire Sky army of Bly.
Like, if there's anything I have faith in Parting doing, it's microing insanely well.
Oh, there's no detection because the Phoenixes shut them down, so Bly has to go home. These Ultralisks so far in this game have not really been useful at all.
No, the Mutas though, they are coming to this army. Parting microing very well with the Blink Stalkers, even casting Blinding Clouds here to try and nullify the damage being done to his Muta count, but Parting holds on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst fight that Bly could have taken, because he's so rich, he still has a lot of money, so it's not a bad choice. Oh, those Parasitic Bombs though.
Dealing damage again and again, and here you see the Parasitic Bomb, even being out of range, the spell still lasts. There's no way to really stop it, besides
and it's
preventing it from being cast in the first place.
And it's not exactly a problem right now, but for every single Parasitic Bomb that hits, then they're going to gradually get more and more towards the red. Like, the shield wears off, and then there's some hull damage as well. And eventually, if these Phoenixes get Parasitic Bomb,
oh man,
here, possibly.
Bly just lost 3 to 4 Ultras, and here, yes, he's winning this fight over here. Is Parting even looking? Ah, that's a lot of damage being done from this Parasitic Bomb, and wow, the whole Phoenix count shut down pretty much, but Parting's taking full advantage of this situation, just removing the mining base of the Bly, and Now Bly is in a bit of a tough spot here.
Parting has reached the army that he wants, and it seems like the Sky army from Bly is simply not big enough anymore. The Phoenixes did quite a bit of damage, and Parting's Sky army is pretty much gone. He only has 2 Phoenixes at this point, but on the ground he's completely winning this fight, it seems, and he's in a very, very, I don't know, it's a bit of a tough position because he's stuck so deep on creep. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to escape this.
Does he really want to escape this? The Vipers are almost useless now, actually. Yes, they can cast Blinding Clouds and such, but there's no air units to cast Parasitic Bomb on. And but this army, it packs such a punch here. He's even using DTs in the mix.
But these are the new Ultralists. They probably have the Chitinous plating as well, and Blinding Cloud and Ultras can be a very scary combo. And here we go. Massive engagement. Massive Blinding Clouds as well.
Oh, but Parting's supply is still so huge. These Immortals reigning supreme on these Ultras. And the Ultras, they haven't even got the maximum upgrades here. Both trading blows neck and neck here, both going down in supply.
Ultras is so tanky though, but it's just not enough. Like, Parting is overpowering Bly right now with some very, very solid macro play.
I tell you what though, what a close game between these guys. It's still not over yet, but this army with those Ultras and... Oh, that's a lot of reinforcements.
I mean, against Ultras alone, Blink Stalkers aren't that amazing, but when you still have those Immortals alive, that's so good for Parting right now to have those Immortals, because without them he would be in quite a bit of trouble, I would say, against an Ultralisk heavy comp.
With the Mutalisk count completely rendered too, like, that's a lot of DPS.
Oh, those Phoenixes are going to get the Vipers, I think, to the bottom. A little bit of a trade there.
There's a lot of Corruptors there dealing the job.
What happens in the skies right now doesn't really matter because Parting is completely dominating the ground. I think all that's left is to kill off these last few Ultras, and then Parting should have this game in the bag. Bly is down to pretty much just one mining base, not really mining much at all right now.
Even though Ultras are something that I'd almost always say are a good choice, in this game, I feel that Bly should have probably just committed fully to air, because the Ultras didn't really do that much.
He already had the Corruptors in place, and Parting was kind of going all in on the Phoenixes.
Yeah.
So maybe Broodlords would have been the best choice.
I think so too. And I mean, Parting's army, while it's very strong, dealing with those Ultras, he dealt with them very, very easily, and we saw that Bly tried to do something with them, like these little counter-attacks with the Ultras, but they just got shut down by DTs, and the Phoenix, they shut down the counter to DTs, which was the Overseers, so Parting just seemed to kind of play. He was the puppet master with Bly. But here, they're both
this
functioning
is so
off nothing.
And instead of going for another Nexus at this base,
gets a Tempest.
Parting is making a Tempest.
There we go.
He's going to get the Nexus, sure.
He's like, I'm being a bit crazy right now, but Bly's the one with the bank here. So he's the one that can actually start adding on Broodlords if he wants to.
Yeah, this game is so scrappy right now. If either player makes a big mistake with their army and loses everything, we're going to end up in a very silly situation where they have almost no units. And will not be able to reproduce them. So each unit right now is worth so much. You don't want to waste them. And these Queens, they're actually going to be able to build a lot of energy over time. And look at this, Broodlords, finally.
And there are a lot of Broodlords too. It's almost as if Parting was anticipating this.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to get out that Tempest before even getting a Nexus. So he's noted what he's up against.
The problem is, though, he's just so poor. So it's going to be all about these Blink Stalkers and how Parting controls them. We know that his control is amazing. But Blinding Cloud is scary, Transfuse is scary, Ultralisk is scary.
Playing against a player like Parting, though, with this group of Stalkers, these are special.
Yeah, these are Parting Stalkers.
These are going to constantly grind down your army. But now, the Broodlords have been exposed. That's something that Bly, upon exposing them, he has to do something with them pretty soon because time's going to it's going to start working against him. His opponent can start making a counter to these.
Yeah, the question now, though, is what does Bly actually do with the army that he's got? Because Parting has done a great job of clearing out all the creep in the middle, so the Queens will be unable to assist the Broodlords, at least for a while, and I think maybe that's why Bly wants to take this position. And this is so smart, like Bly is using the map so incredibly well, but this blink underneath.
Oh man.
That's one Broodlord.
I mean, that was a very good position by Bly, especially to deny mining here, and just has to make sure the Ultras stay under.
And now you can see in Legacy of the Void, you know, the Broodlord range was buffed. They can shoot from afar. Like, they're so far away and just raining fire over this expansion, and Parting cannot mine from this base anymore. He's in so much trouble.
They buffed Broodlord range?
Absolutely did. You could see it in the fight right there. Like, usually in Heart of the Swarm, when those Stalkers blinked in close, they would usually, I mean, the Broodlords, how to say this, like, the range has been buffed, and it really changes the way that you can chase the Broodlords with Stalkers. Like, it's just not as good anymore.
Harding's doing a good job of kind of holding on. Oh no, these DTs came back into play here, kind of mowing down all these drones. And I don't know how many drones died in this instant, but that's an empty mineral line, Snoot.
It's very empty indeed. 19 workers against 31, but the problem is that they don't really have much of a base to mine from. Like, Parting is long-distance mining, so even if Bly is down in workers right now, he's still...
Does he have Storm?
He's still
He must
mining
have
a little
Storm,
bit more.
right?
I'm actually not sure if he does have Storm.
You know, I'm starting to like Bly's position more and more, despite
I know,
being
right?
Bly down.
It's incredible because Bly is actually blocking Parting's base to the north as well. I would love to see Parting try to go for the base in the north.
Oh man, any little inch that Bly gives Parting takes an arm.
Those DTs, he's actually going to feed back the Overseers.
Oh man, this is an insanely close fight, but these Ultras, they're all alive still, and they're mowing down these Stalkers. Is he going to be able to do it, though?
These Immortals are just shredding the Ultralisks apart.
Very nice play by Parting.
These Immortals are the MVP of this game. I know it sounds weird because there were so many Phoenix and there were so many different units, but these Immortals carried Parting to victory here, along with its amazing Blinkstalker micro as well, of course. But if those Immortals at some point got picked off, Parting would be in so much trouble.
That was an insanely close game. To say, like, everything that game went through.
Yeah, it's so confusing. Like, you don't know
Even
what's
the
going to happen.
pylon rush.
Yeah.
Like, let's start off with a pylon rush in between the natural and the main, or not natural and the third, which dealt quite a bit of damage. He managed to get a 15 or so probe lead from that, like 30 workers against 45, and
then Bly looked so scared with his Muta Corruptor mid game, and then killing all the Phoenixes, and then Parting out the ground army, then to counter, and then the Ultralisk attack from Bly. Just really lots of cool tactics, like the defensive DTs, killing the Overseers, just having air control, kind of like the Bisu build from Brood War, you know?
Yes.
Having the Corsairs kill the Overlords, then sending the DTs in, just really made sure that even if Bly had the air dominance, he couldn't really utilize it as much as he would like, and also Parting had complete control on the ground.
Right. I really liked a lot of things that both players did. I liked Bly's choice of units at certain parts of the game. I feel the Ultras...
Yeah, the Ultras
were
probably, you know, if you went straight for Broodlords,
could
have been so much scarier, especially with the new increased range. The Vipers there, like, how are you supposed to counter it? Like, Parasitic Bomb is so strong. Corruptor's already there as well.
Like, how do you counter it?
upgrades.
Is it carriers, basically, to counter that kind of big army?
Maybe Tempest, Templar, Carrier.
Okay.
Yeah, the good old school Sky Protoss composition, probably.
And carriers got improved since then as well, so...
Carriers got improved. Like, they could also be a decent answer against something like this. I'm not sure.
But like, even though we talk about how well both these players played, I feel that Pylon Rush could have...
That's so cool.
It could have accomplished so much more, though.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about how patient he was with the overcharge.
And then he burnt all of them.
Then he burned all of them.
Yeah.
So as soon as we kind of praised him, it was then like, oh, you're making the mistake that you didn't make earlier.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, when you do see a good 40 or so lings from Bly charging at you, you might think, well, he's definitely committing now. And then it's like, oh, he doesn't commit. Then he left his Mothership Core behind too. So there were mistakes being made by Parting, but overall a good game by him. And as soon as it started getting flowing, we saw his micro come into play.
Yeah.
Every little engagement was, hey, as soon as you give me an inch, I'm going to take your whole arm. And like Bly moving his Broodlords forward and then back, and he knew what Parting was trying to make him do, but he did it anyway. Like he moved a bit too far forward and the Stalkers got him. So I liked the play from both of them. And Bly, so far in Legacy of the Void, he's actually showing a lot of promise.
Yeah, and it's funny this time around. Like, I was just expecting some sort of special strats from Bly, like maybe some sort of Ravager, some sort of Nidus thing.
Maybe a hatchery
but he
in
just
his
played
base,
very straight up and looked really even. Like, this was a very close game, and it could have gone either way.
It was very Acer-esque too. Like Nurtio and Bly have always liked that kind of Tengas, or Nurtio at least has always liked that Tengas style.
Yeah,
and Scarlet even.
as well.
Yeah,
this was just the Acer Zerg CVP.
Certainly was. Anyhow, second game of the series. So spawning on the second map, as our red Protoss in the northeast, it is Parting. And he does have a gangster new look going on. Certainly does.
Yeah. Streams a lot recently. But I'm not sure if Bly has been studying those streams all too much. But also on those streams, sits there with the swag. But here on the left of Sarah's, it's Acer Bly, going for a quick expansion.
And Bly has definitely been one of the foreigners that's been doing very well in Legacy of the Void. He's one of the guys that has recently also taken down Solar. in one of the recent cups. I believe it's one of the Gfinity Cups.
Yeah.
Like Bly, I've never seen a guy sign up to so many tournaments, but we're at the Legacy of the Launch, or Legacy of the Void launch party. It takes place, and we're all kind of like doing fun FFAs and stuff together, like celebrating the launch. And then we're like, Bly, come on. And he's like, no, I'm in a cup. And it's like, okay, Bly, who are you playing? He's like, Solar. And then he wins Solar. And then like we asked him a couple of hours later, oh, do you want to play Bly? He's like, no, I'm in a cup. And it's like, what? The same one? He's like, no, different one, man. I'm playing like 3 at the same time. So this guy, he's very persistent.
Yeah, Bly is a persistent grinder, plays in a lot of online tournaments, and so a lot of his plays so far in Legacy of the Void have been showcased. But so far, he doesn't seem to be using the most special things, I would say. Just going for very safe, standard approaches here. Hatch pull, and then another hatch, but Paring doing a great job of blocking it, even putting down the pylon. That's so annoying.
He blocked it for as long as possible without putting a pylon down, then put a pylon down. And, you know, that just wasted Bly's time. He went up to about 500 minerals there, which he definitely didn't want to be doing at that point in time.
I was about to say, at least the drone didn't die, right?
That's true. I mean, it didn't go all bad for him, but very nice play so far by Paring with just a probe already. So I'm liking his play.
And if I see correctly, another gateway on the way. So this is going to be double gate with the Cyber. Probably could be some Adept pressure, could be the Stalker pressure as well. Could be another crazy Mothership Core pylon rush for all we know. The probe's hiding there, could drop some pylons.
We've seen the air play from Bly into Ultras and all that jazz, but what's another style that Zergs can do against?
Finds the probe. Yeah, other styles could be stuff like Ravager timings, trying to hit the third using Ravagers and Circlings. Maybe Lurker timings have been very popular. Even in the beta, the timing of the Lurker then, like the Morph time, was actually nerfed quite a bit because the timing was so strong and Protoss just couldn't find an answer. So those are very popular.
This is already slowing down Paring quite a bit, and so far it's been very reminiscent of a Game 1 build where he got out quite a lot of Stalkers very quickly, even chrono boosting both those gateways. So Bly's seeing all this. He knows he's not totally committing to economy, otherwise he'd be pumping out probes ASAP. But that probe on the map did get scouted, so couldn't go for the same pylon rush that he did in Game 1.
Could absolutely go for it. And we see the probe moving out again. It's still possible. There's no creep tumor down there, so could very well do the same rush again.
And this?
But there's the creep tumor though. Time is limited.
Yeah, and with the new creep spread in Legacy of the Void, creep spreads a lot faster. It also recedes faster to compensate, but...
Let's see, is Paring going to drop the pylons?
Oh, gets the creep tumor too. So here's 1 pylon, 2 pylon. This is the same thing that we saw in the game prior. I'm kind of curious, why doesn't he place the pylons a little bit closer to that third?
It's just too far away. It's already blocked by creep. And, this Mothership Core is so important though. So
important. Without that, you can't get pylon overcharge down, and this Stalker count's going to keep on increasing, but one of the Stalkers taking a lot of damage very, very quickly.
Very nice micro by Bly so far, moving back to the injured Queens. But these Stalkers, they seem to be doing quite a bit of damage here, and the Queens are so low, and Transfusion is still a little bit away, so Bly has to be very, very cautious here.
Now, one thing that Paring also has to worry about is, hey, this Mothership Core energy,
look
it won't last
cheeky
forever.
Dark Shrine. Cheeky Dark Shrine in the background here. So Bly is on a timer and he hasn't even started speedling. There you go. And the lair. This is a very, very nicely timed lair. I'm quite amazed by this. Despite being under so much pressure, he still finds the
time and the resources.
Yeah, to just remember to drop it. Like, it's so important. Here in the high pressure tournament like DreamHack, if he forgot to start that lair, he would be in so much trouble against these incoming DTs. I still think they will do a lot of damage.
Me too, and also with the pylons being so far forward, although...
One more overcharge, 2 more. Yeah, I like this overcharge because it's going to distract Bly so much from the fact that the DTs are coming in.
It is good. Adept's even joining the fray, given that the Zergling count is getting higher.
And do keep in mind, though, that the offensive warp gate changes are going to make sure that the DTs will arrive a lot later than they normally would.
I love where he warped them in, though. At the back there, out of, like, even though they are invisible units, if you saw the blur, it would give you 16 seconds to start putting down your spores immediately. So I love the position there. He's very, very careful. But now, DTs are going to start roaming free.
And the thing is, if Bly wants to get his units, his fighting units back, then... okay, he's got a few links here. But this is going to deal a lot of damage. There's no Overseer, there's no Spore.
Oh man, and this is why your
Bly's
drones...
in so much trouble.
Yeah, and Overseer is being morphed in rapidly, but damage is being done here. And this group at the front just starts walking back home by the looks of it. And Bly, he knows the damage has been done, but is he still throwing out that Nidus? What do you see him doing with that?
I don't know, maybe Bly is being a little bit indecisive here. He has 7 drones in production and 16 Zerglings at the same time. He's going to unlock this position, finally gets rid of the pylons. But what the Nidus is for, I'm just not sure. There's no Ravagers, there's not really much to put into the Nidus itself. I mean, there's Queens, there's Zerglings.
But Niduses are so much less effective with Zerglings, given the pop-out time, regardless of how big or how powerful the unit is. They still pop out one by one. Yeah. So Zerglings whipping out, they're so much easier to counter. They don't really sync up well with the Nidus. Did he cancel the Nidus, actually?
Did we seriously miss that?
I believe
maybe it was cancelled.
I believe he did cancel it.
We're talking about the Nidus all for nothing. Going back to the trademark Spire play that we saw in the last game, I think Ceres is a fantastic map for this type of play. It's very easy to get to those 4 or 5 bases, get the 10 gases, and then you can get even more if you so like. And we saw Bly getting up to a very comfortable drone count as well. But Hydroden actually this time around.
Hydroden, Spire,
Hydroden,
lots of things going down.
Lots of things. We'll have to wait and see.
How do you feel about late upgrades from Zerg in this matchup?
I think it's not really a bad thing at all.
Not really a bad thing?
I think the new units, just their base stats are so good. The Ravager is very strong, and the Lurker as well, also very strong.
We've seen Bly, though, not go for Ravagers at all in this matchup.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, I have to say.
Like in the first game, the second game, they're a unit that, while it doesn't benefit a lot from upgrades and such, that's an advantage, but Bly just seems to kind of forego upgrades entirely. Even in game 1, his Ultralisk got level 2 armor upgrades very, very late, which kind of meant that the Stalkers were decent against them for quite a long time, but
probably just going to be some sort of Skysirk play with maybe a Lurker Den for defensive purposes. Just make sure that he doesn't lose to any sort of timing from parting. But this timing is so swift. I don't think Bly's the defense is ready to stop this. There's no Ravagers, there's no Roaches, so I'm very concerned for him right now. He might get a 6 around though. There's no Adepts, there's no Zealots. Oh, but beautiful force fields there, locking out the army from above. But the Queens are getting close, and the Lynx also.
Oh, that Disruptor did quite a bit of damage, but Transfusers keep all those Queens alive. And
this Guardian Shield protecting the Protoss army so well, but he's forced to recall. Queens dishing out quite a bit of damage there.
I think that was a decent recall timing too.
Yeah,
the Disruptor stays alive, the Mothership Core stays alive.
The Mothership Core, as you could see, it almost died. Like, if that recall was cancelled, it could have been so much trouble.
Right, he also got to see which army composition his opponent was going for. Like, he got to see the mutas popping out, so now he can pop down like a few defensive cannons while he keeps doing this. But the rush distance to his opponent is so small. This is a loss that you can't have happening. This is having just 3 mutas die for nothing.
The more mutas the parting kills off, the easier it is for him to be active and actually threaten Bly here in these horizontal positions.
And mutas, those are primarily used at this moment in time to buy yourself time.
Yeah, but there's no time for Bly, and the Lurker Den is not complete either. 14 Hydralisks in production. The Disruptors are going to make quick work of those. Queen's taking a lot of damage also. The War Prism here with the very, very quick Warpins, and the Blink Stalkers just confidently blinking forward. And Parting is making this look easy once again, starting with the Pylon Rush.
Man, Parting is so good at applying the pressure. He knew exactly when to start killing Bly, and GG is called. Parting takes a pretty nifty 2-0. First game was very, very back and forth, and looked like it could favor Bly for quite a while, but that second game, that Pylon Rush, man, with the Stalkers.
It works. Maybe we're going to see this in every single CVP from now, who knows?
I mean,
it seems very strong.
It has potential, and the early game as well, it was going pretty decent for Bly, given that the Zerglings ran in, they delayed stuff a lot, and he actually got to see, hey, I'm basically facing the same build I played in game 1, where he did this Pylon Rush to me. Even scouted the probe and killed it early on as well, so delayed the timing of that attack, but it still deals damage.
So well. And like, how soon do you actually need to drop these creep tumors to actually block that space? I don't know if that's a decent response. It seems very, very difficult to do so. I'm not sure.
I'm almost worried for you Zergs playing ladder in the future, given that I can see this happening a lot more.
Like,
but
if you press find match right now, you know what's going to happen to you if you get to CVP.
Yeah, certainly. Also, I mean, that kind of works against Parting, because right now he's the only Protoss I've seen do that, and if Zergs gradually start getting better because they get to practice against that on ladder, works against Parting. But yeah, very nice build by Parting. I liked it.
Very cool. I also wonder what would have happened if those DTs did not do as much damage as they did. But It could have been anything also. He could have gone for a proxy Oracle behind it, or just a regular Oracle. That also would have dealt a lot of damage. Oracle could have been amazing also, because all the queens were locked down in the third base.
That is true.
Oracle would have caused so much trouble in either the main or the natural.
There's
So this is a build, this is an opening, a general opening with so much potential, and you can transition into a lot of different things. Doesn't have to be DTs, but DTs is definitely a sure way of just instantly finishing the game against someone that's maybe not as good as Bly at actually making the transitions during pressure. Bly was really spot on with the speed, with the layer timing there, I would say. But even then, it still dealt a lot of damage.
It's a very efficient build within regards to like resources as well. You commit 300 minerals and like 200 gas. In fact, with the mothership core, but that's almost a necessity in every build you do.
Absolutely.
So it's 200 gas worth of stalkers with those 3 pylons, and then you can choose any tech path you want behind it. Like as you said, there's so many options for the Protoss to do behind that. So the Zerg, you're under so
Always
much
has
pressure.
to wonder. You have all of this pressure in your face, and then there could be anything coming behind it. So
Yes.
seems like we're going to have a interview with the winner. Please take it away, Smex.
Congratulations, Parting. You just advanced. Seems you're already chuckling and laughing for some reason. It's probably because I asked him to speak in English, and he seems he's already a little embarrassed there. But you're #1 in your group, Parting, and you're in lovely Jönköping, Sweden. So how are you enjoying your time so far? It's okay. You got this. This is easier than StarCraft 2. Speaking English.
I love Sweden. Thank you.
All right. Okay then. Okay, let's talk about that game, okay? You just played Bly. Earlier when we spoke to Solar, he was mentioning that he heard Nurchio and Bly are both very good Zerg players. Did you know this too?
Yeah, he is very smart player. So I'm afraid Bly. My group I operate Bly and Hawk. Yeah, and Showtime, but I win Bly and Showtime. So I think right now I feel I can #1 group #1.
And in that first game against Bly, it seemed that, I mean, obviously you won, but there were a few moments where it looked a little bit dangerous for you. If you lost your Immortal, for example, it would have been a very, very difficult game for you. So just walk us through that game and how you feel it went on your end. 그 첫 경기에서는 이제 일단 이기긴 이겼지만 그래도 분열자를 잃었으면 좀 어려운 상황이 나올 수도 있었는데 그 첫 경기에 대해서 좀 얘기해 주세요. Please stop laughing, Parting. This is a very serious interview here.
왜냐하면 1경기 때 좀 많이 불리했잖아요. 근데 저도 실수를 많이 했고 블라이 선수도 엄청 잘하더라고요. 생각보다 원래 군자의 심장에서는 좀 약간 머리 좋은 빌드들로 게임 스타일이었는데 이번에는 한국 선수처럼 피지컬적인 면에서도 뛰어나더라고요. 그래서 당황도 많이 하고 실수도 많이 나오게 되더라고요. 블라이 선수를 하다 보니까. 그런데 좀 집중력 차이에서 제가 이긴 것 같아요. 1경기는.
So he says in that first game, for sure, I was in a disadvantageous situation, and even in Heart of the Swarm, I always knew that Bly was a very smart player. He came up with really just cerebral strategies, but in Legacy of the Void, even before this game, I had heard from many different people that he is really good in Legacy of the Void. So I knew going into this it would be difficult. And in this match, I could even feel that he was a very skilled player. And I think that because he's so skilled, there were a few moments where I lost focus and made some mistakes. But in the end, I think I was able to come out on top because in the end, I think I was able to focus when it mattered more and really just pull through. Now, last but not least, Parting, you are a previous DreamHack champion. Now, this is the first tournament for Legacy of the Void. Obviously, you're Parting. You always want to be the champion, but talk to us.
챔피언 될 건 뭐 할 거냐고?
그러니까 최근에 드림핵 우승자로서 그리고 원희석 선수로서 항상 우승하고 싶은 마음이 큰데 이게 첫 레거시 오브 더 보이드 대회잖아요. 그래가지고 그만큼 우승할 마음이 더 클 텐데 그거에 대해서 좀 얘기해 주세요.
여기 왔을 때는 솔직히 우승보다는 그냥 팬들한테 부끄럽지 않은 경기력만 좀 많이 보여주자. 아직 파팅이 안 죽었다라는 걸 보여주려고 왔는데 일단 아직까지는 좀 잘 하고 있는 것 같아서 좀 만족스럽고 일단 우승보다는 한 게임 한 게임 좀 팬들한테 재밌는 공예유산이 이렇게 재밌다라는 게임을 보여주고 싶고 만약에 이제 우승까지 갈 수 있다면은 그때는 이제 정말 더 최선을 다해서 열심히 하도록 하겠습니다.
So he says, first of all, with this tournament, rather than thinking so far ahead and thinking about being a champion and things like that, I really wanted to just show my games in a performance that wouldn't embarrass myself in front of all the fans that are watching. And so with my tournament here, I just want to take it one game at a time. And so far, I think it's working out okay. I think I'm doing a good enough job. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm hoping to keep working hard and keep going through this tournament one game at a time. So hopefully, maybe I can take that trophy. And last but not least, Parting, I always like to do this for you because these interviews with you are always quite entertaining, I'm sure. So words for the fans that are watching.
Hello, I'm Pating. I love you.
Nice and simple. Thank you very much, Parting. Best of luck in the rest of this tournament. Of course, guys, we're only halfway through. Actually, we're not halfway through. We have a lot more matches left. But after this commercial break, we will have another match. It'll be Semper versus a Laser, so don't go anywhere.